Exhibit A. A liberal darling Congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, made not only an outrageous claim, but a verifiably false claim about our policies on the southern border.
The United States is running concentration camps on our southern border, and that is exactly what they are. I want to talk to the people that are concerned enough with humanity to say that we should not, that never again means something.
And on that note, Pastor Scott, Donnie Deutsch, that renowned historian and thinker, today accused the president's Make America Great Again slogan for its racial undertones. Watch.
I believe it's all about racism, or Make America Great Again, Make America White Again, and it keeps going down and down.
Pastor Scott, is that what you're all about? Make America white again? Is that what the president's? Come on.
But come on, that sounds stupid. Everybody's just the Democratic Party is just demonstrating how dumb they are. I don't want to call AOC dumb but she calls herself that by the things that come out of her mouth. Her comparing our activity on the southern border to Nazi Germany and concentration camps was flat out dumb. And what this guy just said is flat out dumb too.
This Democrat Party is a horrid party. It is a party of hate. It is a party of racism. It is a party of anti-Semitism. It's a party of un-Americanism, which perhaps explains why the media are attached at the hip to the Democrat Party. There is a revolution taking place before your eyes. Over the years, I've called it the counter-revolution to the American Revolution. That's exactly what's been taking place the last 100 years. And you're seeing its progeny right now. The Democrat Party has always been a hateful party. Slavery, segregation, Jim Crow, and now today. If you're an anti-Semite, you can find a home in the Democrat Party. As long as you're a leftist, as long as you're a Muslim, I'm telling you the truth, and I'll defend every damn thing that's coming out of my mouth. The Democrat Party is the modern home to anti-Semitism. As I said, this party has become a poison. It's the party of the new left. It's the party of the old Reds. It's the party of socialists and Marxists, radicals of all stripes. It's the party of open borders. It's the party of criminals against cops. It's the party of anarchy against the rule of law. It's the party that seeks to eviscerate the United States military, accusing us of colonialism and imperialism. It's a hateful, vile political party. It's too bad the Republican Party is so weak and impotent. And this party seeks to, as Obama famously put it once, fundamentally transform this society, which is the great difference between what took place in the American Revolution and this counter-revolution. In the American Revolution, there was no effort to fundamentally transform society. The goal was to protect the civil society, the individual, unalienable rights, and fundamentally transform a government, that is, a monarchy that was imposing its will by the iron fist on a people who sought to be free. The Democrat Party seeks an iron-fisted government that imposes its will on the people who seek to be free. But it's much more clever than monarchies of past. It's got the language down. It's got its own nomenclature, filled with propagandists. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a nasty, stupid bigot. That's exactly what she is. And yet the media put her on their shoulders to promote her, to celebrate her, to give her as much attention as possible. They've created her. She's a nobody. She's a backbencher from a heavily Democratic district where she won the Democrat primary by a relative few votes in a heavily Hispanic district against an old Pelosi ally, white guy, who chose not to campaign very much. And they treat this as some great event. It's not a great event. And she's not alone. You have Omar from Minneapolis, St. Paul, another anti-Semite bigot. You have Talib from the Detroit area, another anti-Semite bigot, and all hate America and hate capitalism and hate our history and hate our founding. This is the modern Democrat Party. Not all that different than the old Democrat Party, quite frankly. And along the way, destroying our culture, destroying our traditions, destroying our customs, with all kinds of freakish, fanatical ideas like infanticide, like bathrooms for all. I'm telling you, it's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And now you and I are supposed to sit here and make some kind of fine distinction between concentration camps and death camps in order to defend Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a buffoon who makes outrageous statements and is defended by lowlifes like Chris Hayes at MSNBC, among others, comparing the United States to the Third Reich, comparing the president to Hitler, comparing our humane treatment of hundreds of thousands of people pouring over our borders, nowhere to put them, overwhelming our health services, overwhelming law enforcement, people rushing into this country. I don't know, were there a lot of people rushing into the Third Reich? I seem to recall they were forcibly brought into the Third Reich for the purpose of extinction. I am so sick and tired of what passes for legitimate public discussion in this country. If we had a real, serious media, it would be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez day after day who would be condemned, not Donald Trump. Now, here's what she said on Instagram Live last night. And notice, they always say to Trump, why does he tweet so much? He just needs to stop tweeting. When's the last time they told F.E.A.R to get the hell off of Instagram? Never. They'll defend whatever the hell comes out of her big mouth and mashed potato brain. Cut one, hat tip, real clear politics. Go.
The United States is running concentration camps on our southern border.
We are not running concentration camps anywhere. Anywhere. This used to be rejected as insane ramblings of the kooks in our society. We are not running concentration camps on our southern border, on any border, in any part of the United States. You damn fool. Start at the top. Go ahead.
The United States is running concentration camps on our southern border. And that is exactly what they are. They are concentration camps.
This is amazing to me. Absolutely amazing to me. Running concentration camps. The United States. You really have to be beyond moronic and have true hate for this country to make these kinds of statements. That's right. People are pouring into this country from Africa, from Asia, from south of the border because they want to be in concentration camps. I mean, this woman should be expelled from the House of Representatives, as should so many others. As should so many of the others. She's actually a member of the House of Representatives who votes on laws and budgets that affect our lives. And she's a blithering idiot. I don't blame her for not coming on any of my shows. Because blithering idiots don't do well on my shows. Go ahead.
And if that doesn't bother you, I we can have, okay, whatever. I want to talk to the people that are concerned enough with humanity to say that we should not, that never again means something.
Never again. Those two words are words spoken about the Holocaust. Never again. Never again will the extermination of Jews be permitted. Never again. And she uses that phrase and applies it to our own country, where we are feeding people coming into this country illegally. We're changing their diapers. We're giving them medical treatment. We're giving them an education. And we are overwhelmed on our borders. A situation that's been created by the likes of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Nancy Pelosi and the Democrat Party that apparently thinks this is swell, that this is great. And we listened to lies months ago by Dick Durbin and others who told us when Trump said some of these countries are assholes, no, they're not. That's racist. No, it's not. They are assholes, and these people are escaping these asshole countries. The hell do you think's going on down there? And in the Congo, and in parts of Asia. Why do you think people are trying to come into this country? They're not escaping paradise or nirvana or utopia. That's how they view us. And yet, look at this. Look at this. I just wish that we could swap Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for one of these poor people, law-abiding people otherwise, who would like to come into this country. Or some of the others who have nothing but hate for America. And let me be as clear as I know how to be. When they hate America, when they hate our country, they're talking about you. You are America. You are the country. They're talking about we the people. And concentration camps. And never again. Go ahead.
The fact that concentration camps are now an institutionalized practice in the home.
Concentration camps are now an institutionalized practice in America. Did you know this? What's happening to our country right in front of your eyes? Right in front of your eyes. All the men and women who have fought for this country and died for this country, all the men and women in uniform right now in one S-hole country after another defending our country, all the men and women in the Border Patrol and ICE and others who are trying to secure this country, the men and women in blue who put their lives on the line every single day to try and protect us in the interior of the country. This clown was a bartender, manages to get elected to the House of Representatives from a 80% blue district, who's done nothing to contribute to the society, not a damn thing. She hasn't created jobs, she hasn't created wealth, she's not protected anybody, she's done nothing, absolutely nothing. And for her to sit there in front of her damn Instagram, something else she had nothing to do with, and spew out and burp up her idiocy, to treat America this way is contemptible. Contemptible. Go ahead.
Is extraordinarily disturbing. And we need to do something about it. This week, children, immigrant children were moved to the same internment camps where the Japanese were held in the earlier 20th century.
They weren't moved to Japanese internment camps. We don't have internment camps. That would be the old New Deal, not the Green New Deal. That would be Franklin Delano Roosevelt. There are no internment camps. I just hope the American people are listening to this. Tell me, how many concentration camps, apparently as opposed to death camps, has Ocasio-Cortez visited? In Europe? None, to my knowledge. Tell me, which one of those camps is a concentration camp and which one is a death camp? They're all death camps. Tell me, what exactly does she know about the Third Reich and the Holocaust? She doesn't know anything about any of it. Who is the head of the SS? Does she know? What's Kristallnacht? Does she know? Where's Auschwitz? Does she know? She knows nothing. Except one thing. Say the most outrageous thing, and you will be celebrated by the media, and you will be celebrated by the left. Say the most outrageous, contemptible thing about your own country, about the President of the United States, about our economic system, which feeds her and bathes her and dresses her and houses her and transports her, and you'll grab the attention of the hard left and the media in this country, and they will celebrate you. Tell me, on what basis was she on a Sunday show on Sunday? She accomplished anything? My man Richie tells me the district is 50% or more Hispanic. So I would ask Hispanic Americans in her district, what exactly has she done for Hispanics in her district? What exactly has she done about health care? What exactly has she done about unemployment? Well, she's only one member of Congress. Well, let me tell you something. There are members of Congress and there are members of Congress. There are doers and there are losers. She spends more time in air-conditioned TV studios in Washington, D.C. than she does in her own damn district. She spends more time knocking on doors of newspaper editors and journalists and broadcast producers than she does on the streets in her own district. That's who she is. She's a clown. I want Ocasio-Cortez and her fraudulent defenders in the media who are making distinctions between concentration camps and death camps. This is what they're doing. I want you to point to me, during the Third Reich, which camps were concentration camps and which ones were death camps. Then she says, I wasn't really referring to the Holocaust. Did she not use the term never again, Mr. Producer? Are we supposed to really suspend our intelligence? She thinks she's talking to her supporters? Well, the rest of us are smarter than her supporters. We know exactly what she's talking about. This Democrat Party is truly a hate party. It thinks it controls the minority vote, thinks it controls the Jewish vote, thinks it controls the Catholic vote. It pushes for infanticide. It wants to push religion out of the public square. It wants to crush bakers. It wants to use the iron fist to push its agenda. And virtually, I think every single Democrat wanting to be president of the United States, running in the Democrat primaries, wants to reinstitute the Iran deal that Obama put in place, despite the fact that Iran has killed hundreds of American soldiers, despite the fact that when that deal was in place, Iran was spreading terrorism and funding Hezbollah, despite the fact that Iran is now in Syria, Iraq, Yemen, threatening the world economy, as well as some of our allies. The fact that despite the American Conservative, whatever damn publication that is, so now Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's disgusting. She's just disgusting. That's right, I said it. She says, there's a real difference, between concentration camps, and death camps. Now she's an expert, you see. because somebody whispered in her ear. She insists she did not use the term concentration camps to mean the same thing as the concentration camps from the Holocaust, writes the Daily Wire. She clearly referenced the horrific event in her original comments. During her rant, she specifically mentioned never again, which is a direct reference to the Holocaust. Quote, I want to talk to the people that are concerned enough with humanity to say that we should not that, by the way, that's her English, not mine. We should not that never again mean something that the fact that concentration camps are now an institutionalized practice in the home of the free is extraordinarily disturbing, and we need to do something about it. She then appeared to make a distinction between the internment camps that the Japanese Americans were forced into during World War II and the concentration camps of the immigrants, quote unquote. This week, immigrant children, were moved to the same internment camps, you heard her, where the Japanese were held in the earlier 20th century. What do you mean in the earlier 20th century? It's in the 1940s, you idiot. And this is not even about a crisis, for this is not just about the immigrant communities being held in concentration camps being a crisis. I can't decipher that. Sorry. Her comparison of hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens attempting to enter the United States and temporarily ending up in detention facilities to the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust is sickening. I have to come to this damn microphone about once every 3 or 4 weeks to address these clowns, whether it's Omar or Tlaib or AOC. And the sickening things that they say. These are sickening things that they're saying. And where's Nancy Pelosi today? You know, the president's committed crimes. Thank you, Madam Mussolini, for declaring that the president is a criminal. Gee. And we're here to uphold the Constitution for the American people. Did the American people elect her? No. Bunch of liberal Democrat clowns in San Francisco elected her. She doesn't represent me. Talk about the popular vote. She acts like she represents us. Well, maybe the psychotic among us, or the narcissistic among us. One of the reasons she gets away with this, ladies and gentlemen, is because the media covered up the Holocaust originally, too. As I write in Chapter 6. She says here in a tweet that she posts a video from this week before my primary in the Fox News site. I flew to the concentration camp where the Trump administration was keeping children they stole from their parents. Back then I was voicing my conscience. I still am. Voicing your conscience. You're voicing your negative IQ. And, of course, the reason we have all these people in this country in the first place is because of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is sowing anarchy. The Democrat Party is leading a counter-revolution to the American Revolution. The Democrat Party is seeking to fundamentally transform the citizenry. In fact, as we've talked about over the years, they're trying to destroy the notion of citizenship. Why do you think in New York they just voted to give driver's licenses to illegal aliens? There's about 15 states that do this. To allow illegal aliens to go to college and to subsidize them. To allow them to become lawyers, among other things. To give them health care. Because more and more the line between citizen and illegal alien is being blurred in these blue states. They're not doing it because they're compassionate. Look at the border. You think these blue states are compassionate? Look what they've created. The Democrat Party has a very, very high tolerance for human misery. And always has, because it's instigated it so many times. It's never been held to account. Never. Never. Never been held to account for its history. The Democrat Party has attacked the Declaration of Independence almost since its founding. Well, Mark, you know, Thomas Jefferson founded the Democrat Party. No. I've never bought that. I've never bought into that. To me, he was the original Republican. Formally or informally, doesn't matter. He was more libertarian. He certainly wasn't one of them.